Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, known as America's top foundational health coach and holistic nutritionist. We are now back after a 3-week hiatus post Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm so happy and honored to have the guests that I have here tonight. As we say on Life's Milkshake Moments, life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, it will be oh so sweet. Now, I know this mega couple created their own ice cream in this shake. I know that they created their own personal whipped cream, but what they give to humanity, what they give to everyone, and what I have seen in the short amount of time that I met them is that they put the sprinkles and they put the cherry on top of that milkshake moment. It is just amazing. The servant leader, the servant heart that you're going to hear about tonight is one of a kind, because when you can instantly go in with somebody. Bob and I were down in Boca Raton, and I said, wow. Now there's a couple. They came in at the very end of our expose because, well, frankly, Cristina, Tony's wife, didn't know about V-Guard right there and having the panacea so that she could have remediated whatever kind of viral thing and booster killer T cells. So that didn't happen, but Tony was there. And as a couple of our speaker guests that met Tony at the end of our event said, his frequency level, what he brought into this room, you could feel him. You've heard me say before, Bob Bear's favorite quote, when you're the best, people will feel you. You will feel Cristina and Tony here tonight. And I'm so delighted that this meeting has turned into a friendship, so that we've even broken, like, not gluten-free bread, but we've broken bread, meatballs, spaghetti, and I think I'm just going to use another ethnic variety of food, the whole enchilada together before we're done. So what I would like to tell you is this. We go about Life's Milkshake Moment. We go about Healthopedia in the 6 pillars of life: spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. When you have the whole enchilada in them individually and then together as a couple, you will feel the pasta, you'll feel the secret sauce, you'll feel the meatballs, you'll feel I've got to come back to the Italian thing, I guess. You'll feel the whole recipe of them together. And so just get ready for just an amazing show, because this is what I know. This is what they do. As Les Brown says, it's possible for you to do what only you can do. Just know that it's possible. I'm possible. But people like Tony and Cristina make others feel like they are possible too. So whatever your dream is, whatever you're thinking about marching in to March, they have a sign for you. And it really is in Tony's short bio that he's a dream maker. So what is your dream? What is your dream that only you can do what you can do? Because it's necessary, as Les says, for you to go about it and what you are destined to do as if your life depends on it. You know why? Because at the end of the day, it does. At the end of the day, your life depends on you creating this vision, by you creating what only you can do. And I will say it begins with this creation from one of our great sponsors, Confidence Tones, because you get into that brain immersion, you get into that quantum energy. You're going to be hearing about physical matter today. So after our commercial break with Confidence Tones, I will bring up Cristina and Tony Dody, the dream makers themselves. Let's take a watch, take a look, take a feel, take a listen.
Welcome to Confidence Tones, where we use a proprietary audio development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
Feel better, do better, and live better. Isn't that what it's all about? So make sure, as you know, we've rebranded our YouTube site. So it's Healthopedia 365. Just go ahead and subscribe. You'll hear and see over 360 episodes all about health and 6-pillar health, and also about confidence tones. As you know, I was one of the co-creators of Confidence Tones. Anything that you find on my website, drjodee.com, that's drjodee.com. And you go there to Confidence Tones, you know it is Dr. Jody approved. So here's what I got here. I've got to give you a little bit of this absolute mega couple who, like I said, I didn't really even make any notes. Not this time. Why? Because I just felt that we're just going to go free flowing in this, because that's what they do. This is who they are. Now, when you say that Tony Dody is a super connector, that's beyond anything. That's beyond the pale. It should be like the super 10x connector. I think it needs a little disclaimer about that. But he's a change agent, and he's a change agent for good. With kindness and a heart, he's earned that name, Dream Maker. He is absolutely takes person B and turns it into Project C, because he is a servant-driven, heart-centered leader. This quantum leap advantage is second to none. What he has done in the film industry is beyond anything that you can know, because when he gets an idea, those people that just dive in into the deep end, they think, well, I know I'm going to come up for water. That is Tony. And the fact, what I just heard a little bit about Cristina and how they met, and how when she said, I didn't meet him at first because I wasn't ready for him. What a ready woman, and how insightful you are, Cristina. I will say, yes, she's a native of New York, and she's a native of the best tasting marinara sauce around, because I like Alfredo, and boy, that was the best marinara sauce ever. And knowing that she graduated from Stuyvesant High School, she was already a cut above for the Dream Maker. But being a mega entrepreneur, she created something that I didn't even know existed. It's the first without walls, the Zeta Mu Phi, actually a virtual sorority. And what they do together and what they've done is second to none. So I am going to bring them up, but as I'm bringing them up, we're going to just do something very, very fun, because Tony gave me so many great pictures. I'm like, I've got 2 rock stars here. So I'm going to bring you up, Tony and Cristina, but I want you to hear my narration of who you are and what you have meant to me in this short amount of time. Meet millennial mega media entrepreneurs, Cristina and Tony. Yes, Beyond a Physical Matter, their movie was just widely acclaimed last month. Health, healing, and longevity documentary. Also, they've had Beyond, we're going to hear about Beyond Limitations and Beyond the Secret, because Tony and Cristina are beyond. They're beyond anything, because they are the couple. Just look how they just fold into each other. It's magic. They create magic together, living large, multimedia celebrities and producers. If you've got to have a lanyard collection that goes from here down to Pompano Beach. I'm sure that's the case. Engaging and experiencing life together, so we can as well. So what I'm going to say, this is why we're here next Saturday. They're going to the next beyond level with this knighting ceremony, March 16th, by invitation only. It's the first Florida Royal Knighting Investiture Rare Ennoblement Ceremony. It will be at the Cruise Building. It looks like the ennobling people that they are. I've seen these pictures. What Tony and Cristina do is they just bring you into what they're doing. And frankly, I'm so glad that you brought me into your life, and Bob Bear feels the same. Welcome to Life's Milkshake Moments, Tony and Cristina. Oh, I think you're muted. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
It's not be hard to live up to that. Incredible. I'm known for, my edification and really making people feel how powerful they are. You just took the cherry on top. So thank you for all that. That was amazing. Honor to be here too.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, I meant that. I usually like Alfredo. You've made me a believer. Okay, Cristina. And it doesn't, it's very interesting, Cristina and Tony. Today, when I did Doctor Talk, Come Play in Our Health Sandbox, we do this symposium with 4 or 5 healing professionals every single month. And it was the social pillar that what we were talking about. And when I was thinking about this, it's the heart of the matter. That's who you all are. I mean, who would meet me one night and my random husband the same night and say, come over to our house for dinner? That is the heart of the matter of who you are. So I'm going to let Cristina start though, Tony, because she was on a roll. My first question is in the social pillar of everything. I want to know, how did you attract each other to you? So condense it in a little bit of a story, because we got to get to the goodies with the knighting ceremony in these movies. But Tony, I've got to tell you, it was a really cool story. So I want Cristina to tell her highlights, please.
So to make a long story short, I'll give the short version. When I was a teenager, I was supposed to go to the prom with someone who stood me up for reasons that now as an adult I understand. It was actually really heartbreaking. It was a friend. It wasn't a boy. It was like just a friend. And Anthony ended up going with my future friend. So I couldn't be at that prom because I was not ready to meet Tony the Dreammaker Dody. And he wasn't ready to meet me. So I
was born ready.
Years later, I was working with his prom date to my prom, which, by the way, he didn't go to my school. So he lived about an hour and a half away, I think. So the fact that he was at my prom right there was a miracle. And we were being 19-year-olds. We were at a restaurant, prank calling people. He was called. She didn't talk to him for a really long time. And he had just been through a breakup. So he's like, hey, is there any really nice girls at your table that I could talk to? Because he has really high standards. Knowing that.
Morally speaking.
Yeah.
Values.
So knowing that, she knows that me and my sisters had those high moral standards, she, had him talk to my sister first, one of my sisters, me second. We would not get off the phone. We had so much in common. I gave him my number, but, I never saw him before. We just talked on the phone. I didn't think he was actually going to call me. And my other sister got the phone. They had a weird conversation, and then that was it. Well, weeks later, I get a phone call, and this was the day I was held up at gunpoint. I worked at a bank, and I was the one. Yeah, I was the one who had the gun in my face. So not the other tellers. So of course I was there all day being questioned by the FBI. And he called me, and I said to him, I'm sorry, I just got held up. I'm really tired. Can we talk another time? And he's like,
I really got held up. That's just, it's just another day at the bank. Oh my goodness.
She said it so nonchalant. I was like, I've officially heard it all. I mean, she said it so calm, cool, and collected.
Well, there's something about having that experience is that you really know when somebody's desperate. He didn't want to hurt me, the guy. He was desperate for money. So it was like, an energetic, like, knowing of that. So I was very calm about it. And he was like, I've heard it all. He thought I was blowing him off, and he wasn't going to call me again. But something made him call me again. And at the time, I was getting a lot of calls from a lot of different guys, but I didn't want to talk to any of them. I only wanted to talk to him. I would sit by the phone and wait for him to call me.
So one day, IG, it was Tony Dody. That must have been it.
Something that's consistent with him now is he is persistent. If he wants something, there is nothing stopping this man from getting it. And I love that about him. That is one of the things that made me fall in love with him from the very beginning, is not only his values, the fact that he's always trying to be better, always trying to improve, so persistent. And when you really want something, you have to know that it will happen. And he knows without a doubt in his mind that what he wants will be there. And he just kept going to pursue me, which I loved being pursued. And he still pursues me now.
I do every day. Every day.
Good job. And you know, Tony, what came out to me in that story, see, you were, even as a young man, you knew what you wanted and you knew how to get it.
Yes.
And,
yes.
and by golly, how did you get it? Because you said, is there anybody at that table that has high standards? You weren't just going to handle for anyone. So embellish a little bit of that story before we get into the heart of the matter with your megapreneur millennial business. But I'd love to hear a little bit of your, you know, filling in the blanks.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, you know, it was one of those things that, you know, in 7th grade, I knew the girl I wanted to be with, wanted to marry and so forth. Like I had, you know, the visual, right? And the visual being more the morals and standards. I was the first generation out of technically 4 generations that broke certain things, right? I want to get involved with some, you know, different things that they had gotten involved with throughout the years, right? And so I knew what I wanted in a person internally. And it was funny, my joke is back then, you know, we always need like a physical external image too, right? So always kind of had a thing for like the girl next door, the pretty brunette. You know, the model when I was younger, Party 5 was like Jennifer Love Hewitt, right? And I ended up with someone way better. And so that was kind of like the model. So I met her, just a bubbly, cute personality, loves God, loves people. And so I knew, you know, and, you know, I dated girls and all that before, obviously. But, you know, when you know, it's like I tell people, if you're looking for a red Lamborghini, you're not going to go to like, you know, a Cadillac dealership, right? And end up with a white Cadillac. You may settle, right? But why would you go there? Why would you go fishing for saltwater fish in your backyard pond, right? So you have to really know, I guess the takeaway point, what it is definitively that you're looking for. And then once you know, it's like GPS, right? The universe, you know, God, I believe, made the universe will kind of navigate you there. And you just have to have the antennas up, right? And so you have to know what you're looking for before you find it, so you can identify you actually found it, right?
Absolutely. And identify it. You all did. And I, you know, when I said, you can change that. I'm giving you this. I'm older, maybe not wiser, but I will say, people say super connector. I think a super 10x connector. I mean, really, I heard as see, and you just go, Christine. Oh, I hear him do this every day. Like pass the salt and pepper, please. I mean, Tony, when Bob and I came to your house and your beautiful marina, we came back there. I heard you connect no less than 12 people before we ever got back in the house. And I said, right. and Bob said, I like taking off my shoes in their house. And I said, well, you know, I love going barefoot. But why we had to do this because your hair was already on fire. You wouldn't want to keep your rubber sole shoes on after speaking of that. So, I mean, I believe super connectors are born, not made. What do you attribute, Tony, that connection with you? It's probably something genetically encoded. Your parents? Did you have a mentor? What was it?
Yeah, so lots. Thank you. So, I mean, it's one of those things that I don't think you can teach people to love people. You can teach principles and values, but they have to accept them into the heart, right? So I do believe there's a component of God-given, right? And also, it's like the gift. Michael Jordan, great athlete, but he picked up a basketball and he played, cut from the high school team that we all know freshman year, and then went on to become the greatest ever, right? But he wasn't a great baseball player, right? He was okay. So it's, you know, at the end of the day, I do believe, yes, definitely God-given traits. I believe that. I truly love people. At the end of the day, I do. It's not like a thing, right? We say or whatever. It's like, it's who we are. My whole thing is when I have an interaction with another human being, right? I want it to be the positive ripple effect that human being's life got a little bit better. And then they're going to affect the next person, and that person, right? And I hope down the road to portray that, you know, maybe 7 generations of somebody meeting people. There's a person at the toll booth, you know, and the gentleman at the toll booth was very nice to the toll booth collector, and doesn't know that the toll booth collector, say, had a backhoe from their, you know, from their mother, and maybe she wasn't, God forbid, doing well, right? But he was kind, and that kind gesture brought, you know, the toll booth collector to the next person, the store clerk, and the store clerk was having a good day, but the toll booth collector carried that over. And eventually it gets back to the original daughter, right, or the son of the person who went to the toll in the first place, right? it's a beautiful synergistic ripple effect. So I always believe it's spider webs out, and so I've always kind of naturally, I was
What
shy.
out? Spider webs out?
Spider webs out. Spider webs out. My favorite Marvel character is Spider-Man. Yes.
That's your that feeler. You know why you're so spot on, Tony? Because
Yes.
energetically, either my nose itches or I get a dry tickle, and there's nothing wrong with my lungs. I mean, what you're speaking is truth. It's coming from your heart to mine. This is strong. I mean, spider webs out. I mean, we're gonna put that on the screen. And the thing is this, that just embodies, like I said, you will be in our 3.0 book, Real Men Are Aware, because that's a real man talking there. It's being aware. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. So spider webs out. And so spider webs out, Tony. So here we've got this on when I said y'all they're a mega couple, then you're I just think I'm going to create something. You create something out of nothing to have everything. Oh, I just think I'm going to create the first ever sorority that is virtual. I mean, you talk about you being a super connector and you married a creationaire. Now there's a power couple. So Cristina, how did that happen?
This is a really great story. So I worked in tech for a while, and while I was going there, I decided to go back to college. So I ended up going to Penn State. And while I was there, I was going virtually.
Science, know them well.
Yes, love them. So well, first of all, I wanted to go to Penn State because I really wanted a school that was going to give me the best virtual classes I could get. And Penn State really does, because you're taking the same class. Some of those online classes are accelerated. These are the same classes that you get if you go there.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going, you're either reading the lecture or you're, going physically. So that was part of it. And when I signed up, I was like, why is there any kind of club I can join, something to help support me, a sorority? So I thought of a sorority because in high school I had started the astronomy club because I'm a nerd. And it still exists to this day. So I was thinking in my head, there's nothing that exists like that. How cool would that be? So I just started thinking about it. The very next day, I kid you not, talk about the law of attraction. Yes. The very next day, I get an email from a random girl, says, "Hey, I'm starting a virtual sorority. I need 10 girls to help. What do you think? This is going to be our philanthropy, which is to help support preventing childhood sex trafficking." And I was like, wait, what? You have got to be kidding me. This is everything I wanted to do. So I responded right away. And I was like, how did you find me? Was it my GPA? Was it my major? Like, how did you even get my name? She's like, oh, it was just random.
And there's nothing random about there are no coincidences, as Bernie Siegel said. They're only, or universe related coincidences. And Cristina, when I knew, and I think Tom Chesser, who, once again, Tom Chesser, Traverse TV, what Tom doesn't do, we could put in like a thimble. What he does do would fill an ocean. And I can say when he said that you were involved in human trafficking, because we have a non-for-profit that I do with my supplement company, that all of my physician grade supplements over in Daytona to help human and sex trafficking. I said, well, and that just led into, I asked, and I'm not putting you on the spot, either of you, but I had just asked, in my prayers, in my, during my daily things right before Boca, I said, we've got 2 more authors of The Essence of a Woman. I said, I really want someone to tell the story of human trafficking, because it's such
Mm.
it's with young boys too, but it's so
Yeah.
pervasive with
Mm.
girls. And then you came in my life, and then Tom said that you're doing something with Traverse TV. Well, that was my Cristina and Tony moment that you didn't even know, and that was before I met you all. So we were just
Yeah.
destined with those spider webs out, weren't we?
Absolutely. It's exactly it. And it's, energetically, like attracts like, you
Yeah.
know.
And
Oh, I mean, without a doubt. And so we're going to just take another commercial break with our sponsor, Vibra 360, because I'll tell you one thing that does help, without a doubt, is spider webs out, spider webs in. Thank you for giving me that, Tony, because I'll tell you something. Vibra 360, when you can have energy, the right kind of energy, and it's alkaline energy, creates vitality. Now that this is my first broadcast at 7-0, I can say it creates longevity. I'm living proof. Let's just take a listen to our wonderful sponsors with Vibra 360. It's the coffee with the shrooms in it. And what's a shroom? Because you don't want to say Acacia Blacey, cordyceps, lion's mane, and all that. We just say it's a 6 shroom blend. So here we are back again. I'll tell you, once again, this 6 shroom coffee was partially created by myself with the team. So it's Dr. Jody approved. So what I can say, this is Dr. Jody approved too. I'm sure if you went in, Tony and Cristina, I would be really surprised. Dr. Gary Sanchez, who's in our book, Healthopedia, in the emotional pillar, the creationaire of the YOS. I'm sure your why, both of your why is better way. You'll always find a better way to do this. How do you decide to have 4 people at dinner? And it was like our Savior with the 5 loaves and 7 fishes, and the marinara sauce didn't stop. And you had 16 people there. That's just who you are. It's always a better way. But I love your brand. We've got 3 things that I saw on the web. Beyond limitations, beyond the secret that I knew about. I didn't know about beyond limitations, and then beyond physical matter. So Tony and Cristina, this is just popcorn style. Tell us about what I would think is probably the first experience that you had beyond limitations. Am I correct? Or was beyond the secret first?
So actually, it's interesting how it kind of came together. So I met Sir Don, Lady Melinda Boyer, who I just spoke to. By the way, Patrick Merkel is calling right now. We're not going to take it, but I'm going to tell him you said hi.
Yes, just tell Patrick I said hi. Yes.
Patrick, freaking nature, big shout out. So I met them on set after I had just gotten stem cells. I was recovering from something for 5.5 years. You know the story. 5.5 year healing during an accident, right? In September of 21, got the stem cells. October of 21, was asked to go on set, and I met the producers, right, that did Beyond the Secret, right, which is obviously a sequel to The Secret, had a lot of the names that we all know in it. And so we became friends, and make a long story short, I connected them with some people and basically helped them to show run it, and got it on not only JD3 TV's, Baron James Bentley's network, our dear friend, but also Apple TV as well too. So what started as a relationship, kind of just helping them something else out with Amazon, connect them to a very big producer in Hollywood, became them asking me to do their next sequel, which was Beyond Limitations, right? To just, help them and help cast. And then I didn't know they casted me in it, which was incredible and wonderful, and all those,
so Beyond
things.
the Secret was first. Beyond the Secret was first.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. My mistake. All right.
Yes. So Beyond the Secret came first, and then Beyond Limitations, we filmed that in LA, Dubai, and Australia. Like our good friend Daniel was in Australia filming, but we went to LA and Dubai, had a blast with Baron John Sartoris out in Dubai, the most incredible 12K wraparound green screen studio, same technology that they filmed with Star Wars, Mandalorian. I mean, Dubai, if you've ever been out there, is like Wakanda. We have friends in Black Panther movies. Literally, it's like the Jetsons or Wakanda, right? So I had the whole experience. It was really, truly amazing. And the movie really, is exactly where The Secret left off, where it picked up, where it left off with the law of attraction. We kind of picked it up, and it's basically just a deeper dive into, everything that is, we're all quantum-based individuals, right? Everything's quantum entangled, right? And the ability to attract what you want rather than what you don't want, right? And you mentioned coincidence earlier. Dr. Wayne Dyer said, there's no such thing as coincidence by definition that we know. It's really two coinciding angles meant to be, right? So it's just this beautiful thing of, talking deeper about the law of attraction, neuroscience, the mirror neurons. And now we have, other films that have come out since Beyond Physical Matter, the new one, March 9th comes out, our virtual red carpet. Tickets are available right now. We just had the actual red carpet in person in LA a month ago. And we had all kinds of people. There were people from Disney and Marvel and, Star Wars and all kinds of different films that attended, and was amazing. You never know who's going to come to our premieres. We had Simba from Lion King on Broadway, and we went to his Broadway show the day after the last premiere, the one before this one. But really, the movies are about moving people forward and really teaching them that no matter where they're at in their life, that they can just really change their thinking and change their life. There you go. And we're honored to have some of the legends. I always say a skyscraper can be as tall as the foundation is built upon, right? So we have John Astorot in our movie, father of the modern day Envision Board. We have Dr. Joe Vitale, who we had a blast with out there. He's such a funny, great guy, so humble, so sweet. His wife is wonderful. Marie Diamond is in our next film. We have these amazing individuals, and we have people that are not new to the quantum space, but newer to the broadcast, so to speak, of this world. And like Jason Estes, Jeremy Hoffman, with the quantum spot. Jason and Jeremy have combined 40 companies, many of them in the quantum space, and they're in your Healthopedia book, right? They're the reason why we know each other, them and Tom, amazing individuals, all sharing their insights, all at a very tremendous success level in their life. Some of them very young, some of them a little bit more seasoned, but it's cool to kind of take the veterans, so to speak, with not the newbies, but not the ones not as well known, and create this beautiful web, right, of, physical matter, right, going beyond it, really. And that's what this film's about.
Here we are. There's Jason Estes. Of course, 40 companies. Jeremy and Jason had to be in the physical pillar. So thank you for the big deal. So and then this is kind of like, and what do you think? No, and another thing. And now we've got 2 more movies after Beyond Physical Matter, and that just happened last month. So Cristina, does it just feel like being with Tony? You just say, well, he just passed the salt and pepper again. It's just become the extraordinary just becomes the ordinary, doesn't it, in your household?
We talk about that sometimes, about how we do things. So, for example, his dad texts us, and he's like, can you please explain to your cousins what you do? Because they don't believe him when he tells them.
And we move very fast. It is amazing how fast we move. I mean,
But we're very grateful, and the way we look at it is really, it's all a part of just, the path to, help people get to where they want to be and help get where we want to be. Everybody should always have goals. Always, if you stop having goals, or you stop trying to improve, or you stop trying to do better, then where do you go from there? You always have to be moving forward. And so it's all part of that.
If you're not growing, you're dying, the old saying, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. You have, and they've proven that you have to keep growing. You know this better than us, being the health coach extraordinaire that you are. You have to keep growing new synapses, right? New neurons and so forth.
And the other thing is too, we have no problem with saying yes. A lot of people, they get nervous about doing things, but for us, it's more excitement. It's like, we get to do this. And it's exciting for us.
Yes means new adventure. Yes means you with enthusiasm to success. That's what yes means to me.
Exactly.
And you just say, you just say yes. And so, okay. So Beyond Physical Matter now, and there's another one. I just, like I said, but wait, there's more as the Ginson commercial. What's the next one?
So the one in between is Beyond Limitations. Which it was Beyond the Secret, Beyond Limitations, now Beyond Physical Matter. We're working on a new one right now about the advent of the mastermind, right? Basically, it was called Mystery Schools years ago. You had Andrew Firestone, Henry Ford, right? And these guys came together. One said, hey, I got the tire. One says, I got the engine. Hey, we need the chassis. And then they built the car, right? So most people don't understand about really the power where it's coming. To my knowledge, nobody's really produced a film speaking about, the advent of the mastermind and the power to collect the synergy of the mastermind, which is everything we do is about teaming with people. I didn't say this earlier, but once upon a time, I was a very shy kid. I was very shy. I failed public speaking in college. And to your point, I got my first mentor right out of college, Andrew Paniotakis. He said 3 things to me. He said, I'm a Marine, I'm from New York, and I'm Greek. He said, buckle up, I'm going to be tough. And he was very much a father figure. And now he's, big brother to me. He's coming down next week for our Nighting Investor Sir. I try to include him in everything. I love him 20 years later. I always remember to always try to include to the best of my ability who brought me to the dance. And I also try to always include our first company was in direct selling, a nutraceutical company where we met a lot of the athletes and the Olympians, and we brought them into our organization. It was a direct sales network marketing setup. I always remember who brought us there and try to pay it forward, literally financially, and also for them being there right throughout all everything, the lineage and chronology. Because if you don't, pay it forward, if you don't pay it to the person that paid it forward, who pushed the first domino, there would have been no 12th domino push. And I think we always have to remember who brought us to the dance, so to speak. And I'm very big on that, on gratitude, which, as we know, is one of the highest vibrations out there, and authenticity,
right. Because as we were talking about the confidence tone, see, when you stay in frustration, you're in that downward spiral, frustration, anger, hatred, disease, and death. That's just the way it goes. But if you can push up with frustration, what's the first one? Gratitude. And then it goes to peace, joy, love, passion, ecstasy. And that's just a little bit of TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. I have to get that in there somewhere. But the idea is, so is this going to be beyond the mastermind, or what's this new one going to be called?
So I know we're still kind of looking at a name. It's going to be something. I believe it's actually going to be entitled Mastermind Secrets.
I like that. I like that. And frankly, that brings up that piece of where I look and say, I think it's a Buddhist quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others.
I love that.
That's what you two do. And I mean, and I think, Cristina, so how has this been to be lying in bed at night with Cecil B. DeMille? I mean, how is that with all of this? I mean, this is crazy. Who does that? Well, my husband. What do you do? Well, you can't explain it. They just say, well, do they work? Yes, they work, but it isn't work because you love it. So that's what it is. Yes,
exactly. Everything we do are having fun. And the other secret really is I've always supported him. I know, like, he's successful. Even when we were kids, I knew he'd always be. There's no doubt in my mind.
Word, because that comes into it too. Yeah, watch how you said that word.
Yeah, it's about knowing, not believing. Knowing. Yeah. It's very different. Yeah.
And the feeling's the frequency.
The feeling is the frequency. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And remember the feeling. Remember the feeling. And I want to just say this, because this is not something that millennials necessarily do. I want to thank you for just embracing Bob's and my wisdom, our expertise, and especially for just embracing Bob, because he has so much to share. He is like a kid again in a candy store. I have never seen him this excited with what I'm just going to give you with raw footage. We'll have it shooting in about a week. You've got this knighting ceremony coming up, but that's why we created this book when I was 30. Remember. And what did we? I said I found Dr. Hulda Clark out of a mother's passion, and then I said I must be mentored by you. I knew. She said, I'm retired. I'm 70, and I said, but what if I'm the person to take your message long after you're gone? Well, you see, you, Tony, and Cristina have given the major part, because we all have an expiration date. I mean, I know that Bob and I are vibrant at 70 and 83, but we have an expiration date. This way, these books are going to come to life of his. Do you know anybody that has written 2 books? You know what he found this weekend, Tony and Christine? He found 2 books that he forgot that he's written, and they're ready for publication.
I love that.
That's fantastic.
He's an unbelievable man.
Yes, but you see, that is what you do. Very few have that gift empowering the older generation. So then that story can continue as well. So you're like sitting in front of me, being that little 30-year-old Jody that knocked on that door with Hulda Clark saying, well, what if I'm going to take the message? I feel so confident and comfortable that you will do that with Bob and maybe myself. I don't know, but just the fact that you're in our social, milieu at this point is that's a secret of a mastermind right then and there.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Well, thank you for that. It's very sweet of you. And I told you, people love you. They look up to you. You and Bob. I mean, you both are amazing people. You're so vibrant. I mean, Bob's like 64 to me, right? And he has the energy of a 44-year-old, right? If not 34, to be honest with you. And I'm still not buying. I think you're half your age, but we're not going to talk about that. But really, and this is what I've shared with you, and we'll share openly. And too, I believe you guys. Obviously, Bob has, I believe, an episodic series in him, right? And I think you have with your book. I think the next progression really is getting some of these wonderful authors behind the camera. And this is the key. Anybody can film anything, right? I have friends, and I'm not going to certainly name names, that have paid 6 figures to have something filmed, and it's on their website. But distribution's key, and I'm grateful that we have, with showrunners and so forth, that are able to get it in the big box. All our films are on Amazon or an Apple or something of that caliber, right? And when people can tune in and see you, on their Roku, right, on their Amazon, on their Apple, on their Netflix, that's a big deal. So you have that in you, and I think that's the next logical progression. And I think you have a star-studded cast behind you, people that look up to you and respect you, and they're respected too, right? And it's just bringing it to the world. Like my buddy Sir Don Boyer says, you don't want to be the best kept secret in town. You want to be the best known secret in town, because that's how you help people.
Yes, and that's part of that mastermind of the secret. I'm going to just put this up here. I think this is just one of the best things this is what we learned today. Let's keep our social pillar, our spider webs out. So we're gonna come back after this next commercial break, Tony and Cristina, and we're going to talk about the next big spider web for you. I want to know behind the knighting ceremony. I want to know how this just came, but I think it's just another pass the salt and pepper. I really do think that is. But we're going to take one more round just with my mentor, my guru. He sat on your couch before, and he got on your quantum energy bed by Void Space Technologies before I did, Dr. Jim Marinakis, so we can really feel what the process was about. Just know, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking that process. If you want, you can just reach out to me at Jody Bear, at anything, at Healthopedia 365. You will find me when you hear this broadcast, because what are we doing? We're taking the process, and people are going to experience. This is our mastermind secret. We're doing every Monday, 1:00. Why? Because this doesn't need to be the best kept secret in town. What did you say? It's the best known secret?
Best known secret in town. Yes.
Yes. And now, thanks to Boca Symposium and Retreat in February, Jim Marinakis, my teacher, my trainer, one of 5 that has this gift in the universe alone. And we have him right there within walking distance for y'all. Let's hear about the process and PPI one more time.
The main reason I believe people's health is declining globally is because they don't do the things every day that they need to maintain themselves. They don't walk enough. They don't get enough nutrients. They accumulate way too much stress. They don't expose themselves to nature. They work under artificial lights that damage the rods and cones of their eye, their brain, disturb functions of their liver. Everybody wants to be free from disease, and they want to enjoy a long and happy life. At the Personal Performance Institute, we teach you how to do exactly that. It starts right in the beginning. The very first things you'll do, which are simple instructions, will improve your health, and they will make you feel better about yourself. Not believe that you feel better about yourself, but actually feel better about yourself. That's what the Personal Performance Institute can do for you.
And that's what Dr. Jim Marinakis has done for me for over 2 decades, and thinking about what you felt that, didn't you, Tony, as well? You felt that, Cristina and Tony, when we're really on to something, aren't we?
Yeah, my gosh, yeah. I think he made our quantum bed stronger, and our couch is fluffier now. I mean, he really is truly amazing. And to have the gift 8 billion people on the planet. I mean, think of that. That's one out of, right? So it's like that's one out of almost every 2 billion, just about 1 point something billion. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's here. So it's an honor. Yeah, wonderful guy. And again, you're the domino. You're the domino that brought him here. So we appreciate you.
Well, and guess what? If I could just be at the toll booth at the right time, I'm so grateful.
Yes, I love that.
I mean,
That's
there you
great.
go. So that's what it's all about. One helping another. And so we will be doing go out on this Healthopedia 365, which I've just spelled it wrong. That's my usual way. The dyslexia in me shows up when I spell, but Healthopedia 365, and you can go ahead and ask me for details. A nominal charge. It's a big $2.99 for the month, and that's what I charge for a visit. So it's so worth it, and it's so worth it because you will be able then, when we're out in Colorado, when we're out doing the next thing, and doing after we debut with the essence of a woman, and we do that with Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, and then we come into this, you will be a part of and know that you have elevated yourself that much stronger. But speaking of elevation, I mean, I just want to know, how in the world, did you pass the salt, the pepper, and the Tabasco sauce and run into Dee Wong and Baron so-and-so and all that stuff? Oh yeah, let's do a knighting ceremony in Miami. Tell us the backstory with this.
I love that.
Do you want?
You want to take it? You start. Yeah. You start. Yes, please.
So this is crazy. Well, we were invited to Dame Dee Wong's knighting investiture a few years ago in Vegas. First experience with it, and at her knighting investiture, we happened to notice other people we knew, and we were just like, "What are you doing here?"
Four people being knighted.
4 people that we knew besides her that were being knighted. So
coincidentally,
just coincidentally. So we, were invited to the next one because now Dame Dee had asked our opinion on somebody who was getting knighted, and on, our good word, or Anthony's good word, really. As long as he said they were okay, they got the go ahead to go and get knighted. So because of that, Anthony has recommended many people to the Knights and Dames for nomination. Obviously, he can't nominate someone because only someone who has a royal title can, but he's recommended them. And because of his recommendation, they've had the honor bestowed upon them, So
the dream maker. Day or night, he's a dream maker. That's a little pun. I couldn't resist.
Exactly.
That's good.
So, because I do everything with Anthony, but I'm more creative. I'm very much a visionary where I can see things, in my imagination. And Dame Dee noticed my taste and my creative mind, and she said, "I want both of you to be involved in planning this next knighting investiture, and I want Cristina to plan it, and I want Anthony to help me get people to nominate." So that's essentially what we did, and we've been working so hard on this because it's such an honor to be asked. And just so everybody knows, you don't normally get asked to plan a knighting investiture unless you are knighted. So the fact that we were bestowed the honor of this, and in that inner circle, just from doing the right thing, really, we didn't gain anything personally from helping others to succeed or get this honor. We just felt that they did wonderful things and deserved it.
Absolutely.
And so we kept getting invited because obviously, if we're recommending someone, it's courteous of them to invite us to their investiture.
We've been the 4 of them. This is now the 5th. So it's an honor.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful honor. I'm very excited because my goal, and I said this is another thing that I manifested. I said from the second one on, I said, I feel like I can do this better. I'm going to end up planning these.
Next level. And if I could brag on my wife, if you've ever seen
please do brag away.
if you've seen My Fair Wedding, David Cetera, the show some years back, right? Who was like, the most.
It's an older show, yeah.
She's the female David Cetera. I mean, our wedding was, we had celebrities at our wedding. People said, I've been to other celebrities' weddings. I've never been to a wedding like this, and it's 100% because of her. She's a visionary, especially in the event space. She has the company Cristina Dody Events, and she's fantastic. And so, as great as a Knighting Investiture is, right, it's even next level this time around. And it's in Coconut Grove at the very famous Cruise building, very royal, ornate, elegant. I mean, the inside literally looks like a castle. Actually, CRUZ building, CRUZ, but thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes. And frankly, what I ended up doing, I know you sent me that picture. I knew there was one I forgot. So you're just going to have to look at it, and then you're going to have to contact Cristina and Tony to go ahead and get your ticket if there's any involved. I mean, it's going to be an event, and guess what? It's not. It's, some people would call that egotistical. Oh, I'm going to do it one better. That's the knowing. That's that inner knowing that you can do, because, that's when luck happens, when opportunity meets preparation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a vision, and it's not that like you said, not egotistical, it's just that I know that I can do it, and I know how to, I constantly look for, this is wonderful. Okay, now let's take it to the next level. And that's the constant improvement, know.
Yes.
But I would like to say, for anyone who would like to come, there is still room. It is a very elite event, incredibly elite. It's because you're getting access. You're going to be in a room of people that will be able to give you access to your dreams, really, because they've done it themselves, and they have the money to invest, or they have the know-how to help. So depending on the person, obviously. So it's a wonderful room to be in, and it is real. There's a prince coming from Spain who's going to bestow the honor on 8 people, and 3 people who have royal titles are going to be advanced in their titles, which is really also amazing to see.
And if I could just share 2 points too that I think are so critical. So this is actually the oldest monarchy in human history. So it started in 312 AD with Emperor Constantine. So the prince is direct descendant bloodline of Emperor Constantine. So he is the one that implemented basically the ability to knight somebody that was honored for one of 8 acts, at the time 6 acts of valor. Now there's 8, whether it was architecture, whether it was philanthropy, whether it's elite levels of business that have changed the world, and innovator, people like that, right? To that level. And, people that just doing good things. One of the newer ones is outstanding sports achievement, So we can't say who is being knighted this time, but there's been many A-list celebrities that have been knighted, names that we know that are obviously in the public. But this monarchy from that is what came, the UK monarchy, and the other ones all came from Emperor Constantine.
Well, I wouldn't say they came from it, but the idea, to kind of go off of what he's trying to say, Emperor Constantine was the first monarch to give somebody a royal title that wasn't born into it. And every monarchy since has followed suit, which is the reason why the King of England now will knight someone like Sir Richard Branson or whoever, is because of Emperor Constantine, because he started this this whole idea of giving people a royal title that earn it versus being born into it.
And it's exciting. Again, we can't mention names, but one thing I can share, if we've seen shows, we've watched the NFL, we will know some of the names there. If we watched Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, we'll know some of the names there. These incredible human beings that are truly good, humble people that have changed the world for the better one way or another will be at that event. So it's an absolute honor to be involved. And there's about 20 seats left. And actually they asked for a bio for somebody to attend, because this is not something we post on social media and so forth. This is a very, for lack of a better word, the most elite title you can have is to be knighted, and represent, even gold medal.
Or the biggest honor.
The biggest honor, I should say.
Correct.
Yeah, to be bestowed upon.
And they could reach out to you on Instagram, give your resume, your bio, and they could start the vetting process, even to get a seat. And start now, start soon, because it is a white tie. It's not easy getting a tail and a ball gown, some tails to win. But I'm just thinking you need to go back to that other name, Tony. I said, Now presenting Baron and Baroness Anthony and Cristina DeGraff. Oh, that just has, I had to say that because, oh, it just has a ring, doesn't it?
I think that's a nice ring. That's a nice ring.
It is funny because we're so close with a lot of the people who are knighted, they forget that, you know, we aren't. So they'll call us Sir Tony or Lady Cristina.
Actually, yeah.
And it's funny because I really just think it's a foreshadowing of events.
Exactly. So I want to come back, wrap this all up. I mean, I knew that this would just be a conversation. It would be a high level conversation from the heart. So we're going to take a look because we have our new video with Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, who is our anchor author for The Essence of a Woman. You talk about a servant leader. So let's take a look, take a listen, and then we'll wrap this up. Is that a deal?
That'd be
Wonderful.
great. I love Mama Ali. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Former wife of Muhammad Ali. Academy Award-winning actress. Author. Motivational speaker. Aviator and filmmaker. Humanitarian. Martial arts 3rd degree black belt. Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, our anchor author for The Essence of a Woman. So if this appeals to you, ladies, because ladies before gentlemen, we'll have 2 good men in there, Dr. Jim Marinakis and Dr. Glenn Depke, known as the happy hormone doctor. He only has women patients, and he is just absolutely amazing to what he's going to bring to the stage, along with Dr. Khalila, Tiffany Haddish, actress Tiffany Haddish, young and old, having Gwen going ahead and doing she is the tip of the iceberg with Sotheby's and Christie's. I don't do real estate, but Gwen is amazing with that. And when she can bring, so Gwen Smith there, she's not a well-known name, but you're going to know her. You're also going to know, Forbes Riley, and some of these other great people in our book. Maybe that greatness comes with you because the story that you're sitting on, someone else is waiting on. And speaking of waiting on, I'm so glad that this story is now out there on our YouTube channel, that you have been able to share your story and to go ahead and say, hey, the time is here. The time is now. Sir Tony, Lady Cristina, what are your last and final words to, and you can reach out at Tony Dody if this speaks to you. It is a vetting process, as he said. But if you really want more information, please reach out. If you feel like this speaks to you because you're of that level, don't be shy, because shy never got you anywhere. You found that out, Tony, didn't you?
I will say too, another place there, I have contact information on Cristina Candulo Events, a new website that I just put up. It's technically launching on the 16th, but in advance, you can use that website to also reach out if you have trouble accessing Tony. We could also get you the information that way.
Is it Cristina Candulo events.com?
That's it.
Okay. All right. I think
Just remember there's no H in the name. So, it's very.
I learned that one. I got that one. I think I did that right. Yay. Here we go. I've got it. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it perfect.
Okay.
Yay. Okay. So what is your last message beyond Cristina and Tony? If you're looking to build your life's milkshake moment, to do something on a large scale, where do you begin? I'll start with you, Cristina.
I'm going to say the most important thing is change your frequency. And one of the things that I have learned, in my life is the feeling, and we said this earlier, the feeling's the frequency. If you can feel the way you'll feel when you accomplish your goal and be in it emotionally, that will help you, because the how doesn't matter. It will come, because things will happen and just fall into place. And it's gonna, as long as you say yes, and as long as you're ready for it, it will happen. So you just have to feel into it and, change and that's how you change your vibration.
Yes. Yes stands to your enthusiasm for success. So Tony.
Love that. So thank you for that. So piggyback off that, 3 things briefly. One is when you go to bed at night, you're in theta. And from newborn to 7 years old, you're in theta, right? So in theta, you're in that creative state. So a little child at 5 years old can pick up 3, 4 languages all at once, right? A freshman in high school translates hello to hola, right? So, because it's a gatekeeper, right? So that last hour before you go to bed, first hour when you wake up, you're in theta. That's the time to really inculcate, especially before you go to bed, because you get the marinate on it for 8 hours with the frequency, and also play some 541 hertz, right? And 432, 520, and 432, right? And see, we complete each other, all right? And for vibration, there's a bazillion of them on YouTube, right? So I would say that before you go to bed, to piggyback off that. Number 2 and 3. Number 2 is that if you look at everybody, we all have an invisible sign on the forehead that says, make me feel important. Make me feel important. It could truly help people to make them feel important. It's the old, adage by Charles Swindoll: a candle never loses any of its flame while lighting another candle, right? So just do that out of love and goodness, and you'd be amazed what comes back, right? And then number 3, I love this. So we're going to kind of share this here. So if you play baseball, right, you think of a baseball diamond, right? We know the famous book, Simon Sinek, it starts with why, right? You spoke about the Institute earlier. I always say it starts at what? It's fueled by why. Your why is your lifeblood, the why that makes you cry, right? And it's what juices you get out of bed in the morning, but it happens with how. And to get to how, you typically need the who. So if you look at it as you're the picture of your life, of your business, of your baseball diamond, right? Of your brain, right? Don't try to you don't win a World Series by 9 pitchers. The best pitcher is the worst catcher, and the best catcher is the worst pitcher, right? So what you have to do is go find some Golden Glove winners, right? To fill your proverbial baseball diamond. Go find, you hate doing social media, that's great. Go find a Vice Wardak, a CMO, right? That's the best in the world at what him and his company does, right? Or somebody like that. You need an influencer, go find that for your shortstop. You need someone to, basically look over and, grow the company and scale, get the CFO here, right? But don't try to be the jack of all trades, because if you do that, you really truly are a master of none. So just make sure you're playing the right sport. Again, Michael Jordan, go ahead.
It dilutes. Then you have nothing. Yeah.
It dilutes, and then you start to get these feelings that you don't like it. When you start to get these feelings that you don't like it, it's this cascade effect, because the negative emotions precedes the vibration and so forth, right? All that. So you really want to stay in your genius zone. Everybody's a genius in 1, 2, 3 things. Again, Michael Jordan, right? Great basketball player, not a great baseball player, but playing the right sport, he was the greatest ever. And he didn't try to be the center, right? He didn't try to be the guy that's 7 foot in the middle. He was the best him. And when you're the best you can literally accomplish, really anything you want by filling that, the gaps of what you need. And that's what we get the calls for. We get the calls for, hey, I want to be in a movie, or hey, I need funding, or hey, I want to meet this one or that one, I need this or I need that, right? We literally, whatever it is, we just fill the gap of what somebody needs to help them move forward, so they win a World Series together, and everybody needs. And that's what I think dream making's about. It's providing the who, to give them the how, so to speak, and then listening and being humble and work together, stay in your own lane, and you all win together. It's a win-win.
And you win, you've got the what. So if you ever want about the how, you need to go to the who. And if you want to know who the who is, go to Whoville at ChristinaCanduloEvents.com. The Whoville is definitely, you are the Millennial mega couple. The gems in this broadcast, the gems that you gave. And I will just say, I'm just going to keep you up, and I'm just going to give the announcement for who is next week on Life's Milkshake Moment. Talk about this book. Talk about who is back here. 23-year-old Ivan Jacobs had every person in that event crying, talking about his recovery from and remission with CF. It never leaves. Maybe it does with the quantum energy. Maybe it does with the megahertz. Maybe it does with confidence tones, waking up to these vibrations and all of this thing. But he came into my life. His mother's going to be there. Jeremiah and Ivan Jacobs, 21, 23 years old, lost 123 pounds, Now he is getting a master's degree in exercise science, and his CF is in remission. When you hear his story and how he just gives back, that's what it's all about. It's the fuel for you. So join us next week on Life's Milkshake Moments with Ivan, best-selling author extraordinaire Ivan Jacobs, exercise major at UNC Charlotte, his brother Jeremiah, and his mother, my dear friend Kim Jacobs, because the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Don't say you can when they say you can't. Say why not? Because Kim Jacobs, I love this story. They said you can't have children. Well, she defied the odds and had 5. Oops. See, when you get that body healthy, oops can happen, and you're more than oops. So I'm just going to say this was totally epic. I knew it would be. Join Cristina and Tony if you're vetted. If you can find the white tail, a white tie tux, and the ball gown, maybe you'll get in for the deal. But just maybe let them into your life for sure, because they go beyond this, beyond limitations, beyond secrets, beyond the mastermind, beyond anything you know, because that's just truly what a servant leader is. This is what I'd like to leave with you, Cristina and Tony. You've probably seen this before. You're going to have to take your hand away from your wife that you just want to hug her all the time, Tony. So you're taking your right hand first, and I want you to put it on your heart. Put it on your heart. Feel your heart beating. Then take your left hand and put it over your right. Your heart beats stronger because we are better together. We come in this world alone, we go out alone, but between the hashes, we need people like you. You truly are the heartbeat of the next generation, the present generation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, life will be oh so sweet. We used to say ciao for now, but now we just say, and just make today and every day a great Healthopedia day. Bye for now.